Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin continues to hold in this green target range here. We're going to take a look at what that means, what the options are for Bitcoin. But before I start, I have been saying for months now that Ethereum is the real opportunity. Bitcoin is just still too unclear for me. It is still too unclear for me. And I can tell you very clearly that this increase from yesterday is not good. It is not good because it doesn't finish off clearly a pattern. I would have loved to see further lows, or at least not such a strong recovery, because from a structural point of view, it just makes this whole structure that Bitcoin has just even more complex, even more messy, even more unclear. So what does that mean? Does that mean you can't trade Bitcoin? Well, no, you can trade it. There are on the lower time frames always trade setups. But the problem is it will take much longer for us to clearly indicate that a more meaningful bottom is in, and it will take much longer to really confirm the bottom of the bear market. We're getting into a situation where those levels where we can confirm that just climb higher and higher, because the more extended such a messy price action gets as this one, the more you need the evidence on the upside that you really have bottomed. Because at the moment, while there are always options that you can find, that, for example, Bitcoin is now in a bullish breakout, like I actually expected for Ethereum. But with Bitcoin, the structure just looks so different from Ethereum, and it just makes it so difficult with Bitcoin from a technical point of view to give confidence. Therefore, I do cover Bitcoin, of course, because it is the the leader in crypto, right? You still get all those correlations, even though I get the impression that more and more of the altcoins, including Ethereum, are currently decoupling from Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is just moving sideways overall. And again, this move from yesterday just makes it more difficult. So let's take a look at options. For me at the moment, this is here still one of the most likely options that Bitcoin is doing. That we are moving down here in a 5-wave pattern. The wave 1 ended in end of August at around 17k, moved up in a wave 2 here around 22.8k. We came down in a wave 3, 18k, moved up in a 4 that probably was finished, which also isn't entirely clear, but probably was finished here at around 20,500, and then we came down in a 5. Now the wave 5, so all these subwaves can be counted as 3-wave structures because it is an ending diagonal. These diagonal patterns, they appear towards the end of a cycle, like here the end of a bear market. Why is that? That is because that there is only limited downside pressure left, because the bears are, there's limited people who want to sell still. There are still people who want to sell, or who get exhausted, whatever, get pissed off, want to leave the market. But you get less and less of them. Most people have sold. Most people who want to sell have sold. All the weak hands are flushed out. There might be a few left, but then you get more and more buyers come in, and that is what slows down the downtrend. And that is what we see here in this diagonal pattern, in this sort of descending wedge, you could even call it. And that is never an easy market to be in. That is why the phases of a trend ending or a new trend beginning are always the most difficult to trade. They're also the most expensive ones because you get most fake outs. So for me at the moment, the most likely option is still that we are in the 5th wave down, that we haven't seen a bottom, because we haven't really dropped below the low of the wave 3, which was here at 18,000 basically. We haven't dropped below that. We have ended yesterday basically at the same level, a little bit higher maybe. So for me, this is not a clear low. This was not an ideal wave 5. So at the moment, I still see the wave 5 as ongoing, and I still see it as, okay, this was the wave A low. We're now moving up in a wave B. As you know, a wave B can be unpredictable, so it could push a bit higher. And even though we reached the ideal target area that we talked about yesterday, and then I would expect it to come down once more in a wave C. That would be ideal, okay? It's a bit like a wish list here at the moment, what we want. For now, it's holding though. It's holding, and you could even call that a bit of a bull flag. So at the moment, this is a 3-wave structure. It's a 3-wave structure. So this could be complete as a wave B. In an ideal case, this is now complete. And in an ideal case, it is complete because we have reached the area between the 50% FIB level and the 78.6. You don't ideally you don't want it to go any higher. So I'm able to label the subwaves here as A, B, C. So from here, yeah, there is, of course, what is the best signal that we are now coming down? And then you could have already a micro 1-2 setup here, and we're now coming down in 3. But the best signal would be a drop below that $19,310 level, the low of the wave B here. Yeah, that would be the best signal that we are coming down in the wave C here, yeah, with a target of 17K and lower. So it would be ideal to turn around here, yeah, because you don't really want to break above the 78.6% FIB level. It will just force us to consider other options. If you go higher, you'll find some resistance at 20,200 and then 20,460. This could still be a wave B then. Yeah, you get these you get even overshooting wave Bs. So, again, that just makes it less clear. But the point is, as long as we're holding above 19,310, we can focus on higher. If we push any higher, yeah, and even if we break 20,450, I would have to explore more bullish options. But the problem is due to the messiness of the structure. So first of all, we've broken out of the descending wedge, but we've just come back into it. So that is not a bullish sign. It just shows the weakness still in this chart, right? But if we push higher, and if we don't get below the wave below, if we push higher, to be honest, my first call would be that the wave 4. So I would give the wave 4 a bit more space. Do you know what I mean? So the wave 5 never really started. So wave 4 can push higher. It's not ideal, yeah, but it can. That would be my first call, really, for a wave 4 to be higher, and then have a proper ABC pattern here, because it's not very clear. So for me, it's still not very clear, and I would rather see one more low for Bitcoin. Therefore, I'm currently treating all the increases as corrective. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday, that it could be a wave 4 still, or it could even, and that was the other wave count I showed you in the previous video, that again I would have to relabel the entire, but I'm not going to do that to not confuse people, but that might be something I have to do, where you say this was a wave 1, we're now coming up in a wave 2, and that could even push up to 21.7K. And even if we go above that, I wouldn't even go bullish, right? So I will explore more bullish options, but probably not primarily. So again, for me, the focus for Bitcoin is still down. Yeah, it's still down. Maybe there's even some profit taking coming after yesterday's increase or today's increase. So let's just see. I mean, for the opportunity for me is Ethereum. It is Aave. We've got a few other coins we talked about. Bitcoin is far too unclear to call here. The long is starting, right? So and as we speak, we might actually be coming down now. Let's see. But yeah, for me, focus is still on the downside with Bitcoin. We've reached an ideal reversal area now. Let's see if we do it, and if we get down here against the high at 19,000, basically 20K. Yeah. Hopefully, well, it probably made things less clear, this video, but hopefully that we are still in a state of uncertainty. This is sort of the first call, that we come down here, and if we push higher, it would, in my opinion, still be a corrective move to the upside. I wouldn't. The price action of the last few days has made things actually still rather unclear. One more thing, let's take a look at the indicators maybe. But all they indicate now is that momentum is coming down here on the 4-hour. Yeah, so the upside momentum is already slowing down. It's a sign of weakness. Here we didn't even get into the overbought range, so at the moment no divergence here either. So the 4-hour, let's see if we get a bearish crossover on the 4-hour. And the point here on the daily, this is still pushing up. Yeah, it depends on now, do we come down on the 4-hour? Yeah, and will this sort of invalidate the bullish crossover we had here on the daily MACD? I think this is also, it starts on the lower time frames, like the 4 hour, and then it will translate over onto the daily. If on the daily now this momentum is pushing down again, because the 4 hour is getting bearish, and the daily will push down as well, and it will invalidate this bullish crossover we have, and it will also push the price further down. But in the end, the price action is key. The price will, those breakout points here that I just showed you and the important levels, they will probably set the course for the next few days and the weekend. So let's see if we are at an inflection point, decision point. It now depends on which direction of this target area we're breaking out. Ideal would be for me to get clarity, would be to break further down here. But if we go up, it would just be an extension again for me of a corrective wave pattern. Okay, that's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.